All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Unit Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is to preview the big game, Arsenal versus Liverpool. And I put it as my title, and I'll say it again. I would love it if we beat this one. I would love it so much. Joining me for this one is my usual guest for this kind of big time. So please say hello to the people.
Mate, I'm fucking freezing, by the way. Right? That's why I got the hat on, the hoodie on. Yeah, I've got a blanket across me, and my apartment, I put the heating on 30 degrees. I am still cold. So yeah, if people are sitting there thinking, look at this dickhead wearing a hat indoors, yeah? Like, you don't want to see what's underneath that. My hairline goes back to the fucking Invincible era, bruv, yeah? Like, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, thanks for having me on again, man. Nice to see you last night as well. Don't say I never give you nothing. You know, fucking patting you up there last night.
All right, I gave you your props on Twitter. I told you. Look at that.
No, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. It was nice to see you again, man. You live too far away from me to just pop in for a cup of tea, innit? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's always good to see you. And thanks for having me on again, man.
Of course. Thank you for coming on. And as always, another one of my oldest friends on the show, one of my very original guests that came on the show.
Yeah, old school, baby.
The only thing I don't like about him is that he supports freaking Liverpool, and that's Robby. Say hello to the people, Robby.
How you been, mate? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I was very pleased to see you boys beat the living piss out of Blackpool yesterday, because obviously my dad, as you might recall, my dad's a massive Preston North End fan, so he was over the fucking moon, lads. Anytime they get a fist in, just cheers my dad up. It's great.
Beating the piss might be a bit of an oversell.
Well, listen, if they lost, they got the living piss beat out of them. That's how it works. If they lost, they got the piss beat out of them. There's no why-fors or how-tos. That's just how it is.
Oh, gosh. All right. No problem. I'm with it. It makes it sound better than it actually was.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's talk about this one. The big one, as far as I'm concerned. Arsenal versus Liverpool at the Emirates. For me personally, yes, I hate Spurs. I hate Liverpool fans almost as much. Present company excluded, but I do.
Oh, fuck off. You've given me some fucking belters.
Oh, fucking hell no. Honestly, everybody has them fans that they argue with on Twitter. With Lee, pretty much anyone.
I trigger any fan, but I triggered Crystal Palace fans at the weekend by saying the step over merchant was a diver.
He is, isn't he? Let's be honest. He's a diver, isn't he?
Yes.
I've been watching my Twitter feed this week. I've been really busy, but every time I get the chance, Lee has been retweeting some bad dickheads. Some proper bad dickheads, and I'm just like, oh, just leave your account, mate, for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ. You know, listen, let's be real. You guys have got all the momentum. And I've come on this show and I've talked to you, especially you, Chiggy. Like, momentum is so important. So fucking important. It's fantastic. And more power to your elbow. You guys are playing some really good stuff. I would assume, Lee, you're actually enjoying going to the game these days.
do you know what, right? You're actually spot on. We have got momentum, right? But let's be real here. You haven't lost in the league this season.
No, we haven't.
Right? No. And you're one of the 3 teams above us that haven't actually lost a game. And we've lost, 2 games? That lot down the road have lost 3 games. That's their best start ever, apparently. So, you know, Man United, yeah, how are you feeling down in 10th? We can't hear you up here. Right? But I just look at it and I just think that this season, the one thing I've noticed more than anything about us, right, is that now we don't just flake and just roll over and go, okay, cool, 4, 5, 6. Whereas previous years, especially last season and away from home, as soon as we got, for example, Newcastle last season, right? I decided I ain't going to that game. It was a 1:30 Sunday kickoff in Newcastle. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to that. I would have had to have left at like 5 in the morning. We then went 1-0 up. And then as soon as they equalised, I knew we'd lose. This season, if a team equalises or takes the lead, me, but not only me, everyone now believes we're fully still going to go on and win the game. And that is what Emery has done to this team inside 3 months.
I even said this to you last night, Lee. Like, when Blackpool scored and we were down to 10 men, all right, it's Blackpool. But at no point did I ever think to myself, fuck, we can see the set. Even with Chig doing his best Calamity Jane impression, even with Chig doing what he was doing, I never thought to myself, oh shit, we're in trouble here. We're in trouble here. There's this calmness at the moment about the Arsenal fan base that I'm sure is throwing the media loopy, which is why they keep coming out with stupid statements just to see if they can rile us up again.
Yeah. Well,
you mean Paul Merson?
Yeah.
I mean Paul.
Listen, boys, we all know. Let's be right. I think Liverpool and Arsenal are probably the most excitable fan base. Whenever anybody says anything daft,
I would say, yeah.
So, but you've also got to remember, it's just like when Merson says stuff like that, just go, it's clickbait. Fuck off. Right? That's all it is.
But do you know what the funny thing is, though, right? Last season, everything he was saying about the previous manager was spot on, right? Yeah. And everything he was saying about the way we roll over and the way we're weak and like this and that, and we've got no fight and there's no leaders, he was spot on, right? Now, what winds me up is I was saying the exact same thing, right? That previous manager is now no longer here. We've now got a new manager. I've gone full circle the opposite way. I'm just like, yeah, cool. Everything's sweet. You know, there's certain players, El Neni, Mickey, Jenkinson. I don't think any of them are good enough this season. Jenkinson, I'm going to give a pass because that was his first game last night. But he shouldn't be here. And that's not his fault, right? That's not his fault. That's the previous regime, right? El Neni, same. Mkhitaryan hasn't done nothing really, let's be real, since he's been here. He works hard, he runs around a lot, but his end product's pony, right? But what I will say is, right, that when you're crying for a manager to be sacked or to leave, and then that actually happens, how can you have the cheek and audacity to then sit there when a team are on an 11-game, 12-game, whatever, 13-game unbeaten streak now, and still criticise that team? And that's my beef with Merson.
Yeah, no, listen, it's completely... You're right to be upset with him, but at some point you've also got to realise that's his job. His job is basically to be a clickbait bellend, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that he's not been valid in the past or that he won't be valid in the future in what he says. It's not too dissimilar to like Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes is obviously getting information from the players. Rio Ferdinand as well, when they're on BT, say some very, very astute things. And obviously these are lads that know Manchester United inside out and play at the
I will say that. You're right about that, because I know Scholes in particular shits on United. You're like, fucking hell, what is happening?
You couldn't get the fucker to say 2 words for 20 years, and now you can't get the cunt to shut up.
No, but do you know what? The only difference I'll say between him and Merson, obviously Merson's on TV a hell of a lot more than Scholes. Right?
Yeah.
But when Man United are doing well, Scholes won't say nothing.
That's right, yeah.
Well, and I know Merson sits in the studio every week, and that's his job, and he's got to make his predictions and blah, blah, blah. But the way I look at it, firstly, he's a Chelsea fan, right?
Yeah.
So he's never, ever going to really deep down. If Arsenal play Chelsea, he really wants Chelsea to win, whether he's an Arsenal legend or not. His priority is to Chelsea because that's his boyhood team. That's him. He's Chelsea. That's like me being an Arsenal fan, which I am, and playing for Chelsea, and then we play each other. I'm not going to support Chelsea because I'm a Chelsea legend. I'm supporting Arsenal because I support Arsenal. And that's like him. So I get why he does it. But at the same time, you just got to look at it and go, I was the previous manager out for 7 years. We finally got what we wanted. How the fuck are you moaning?
Yeah.
You know, and he was the same. So how are you sitting there moaning? Whether it's good TV for rival fans, or like clickbait or not, he should have a little bit more about him to sit there and go, do you know what? It's not easy to go 11 straight games. 2007 was the last time we done that. Yeah. Right? So that's 11 years. If it was that easy, how's it taken 11 years to do it again?
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
You can't argue with the logic. You can't argue with the logic. I mean, it's It's that thing where you just sort of sit there and like, I knew who he was going to point out, and it's the same player that you guys are all pointing out is not like, you know, the long-term issue, shall we call it, yeah? But I'll just give you my point of view from watching Arsenal. I whenever I get the opportunity, I will always watch Arsenal because they've always played great, entertaining football.
Not always. Mate, you should have gone Swansea away last season. That weren't entertaining, mate.
You know, by and large, yeah, but you've always tried to play the game in the right way. Obviously, Wenger onwards, we're not talking George Graham, Bruce Rioch and back in the day, because apparently football before about 1995 doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, I digress. But what's been really, really good and that I've really enjoyed is stuff like the sideshow Bob lad with the hair.
Gendozi.
Thank you. I can't pronounce his name.
Neither can I.
There was a moment in the last 5 minutes of that game against.
I was going to say, I've never heard Lee say his last name before. That is a big surprise.
Anyway, there's a moment in the last 5 minutes of that game against Crystal Palace, and he just goes and kicks somebody and puts a snide challenge in, and that's the kind of stuff that you've been missing for years. For years, just go and kick the cunt. Just go and kick him.
See, no, you're right. What you're saying there, right? Yeah. When we played West Ham at home, right? Let's be real, Chig. You know this, yeah. They should have been out of sight, right? Mikel Antonio ripped Bellerin apart that game, right? And Arnautovic, he scored his goal, and that was from Bellerin letting Antonio inside and showing him inside, right? Yeah. That's they missed a couple of sitters. Czech made a great save right on half time from, I think it was Nolan Snodgrass, right? And if he'd scored that would have been 2-0, right? Now, when we got in the lead in that game, I don't know if you remember this, Chris, right? They got a free kick in stoppage time, and Socrates picked the ball up and just run off with the ball. Yeah. He got a push into it, yeah? And it was just like, do you know what? We have need this shithouse fuckery in our team for a decade. And it just killed it for another 30 seconds off the game. We all got back behind the ball and we ended up clearing the free kick. And it was like, if he hadn't have done that, they could have had a quick free kick, got him behind us and maybe equalised. And it's like, little things like that have been the difference.
As much as you can. It's
of course, man.
You know,
exactly.
It's gamesmanship. You know, isn't it? And it's something that I see it with Liverpool now. There's so many times where I watch Liverpool, I'm like, just put it in Rosette. Just don't give them any opportunity. Just stop being so fucking nice. Yeah. And what's great about that is, I always talk to you about culture and team ethic and ethos and all sorts of stuff. That is pure, unadulterated Unai Emery right there, straight away. This is what we're going to do. I've brought in lads who are not going to fuck about, right? Lichtsteiner is a snide cunt. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. I sit here and I go like, that bloke's 35. Imagine if he'd been in the Liverpool team when he was about 27.
Yeah.
Right? I think back to like, the very, very peak years under Rafa. I just think that is the player that we wanted, that we need.
When we played our first home game, or the first game of the season against Man City, remember we spoke about this, Chris, right? We had Ainsley Maitland-Niles at left back that day, right? And Mahrez was ripping him, literally toying with him, right? Step overs. And as soon as you get Mahrez stepping over, running at you at pace, you're doomed, right? As soon as he went off injured, Lichtsteiner came on at left back. The first time Mahrez got the ball, he stuck one on him. Right? The rest of that game, Mahrez never got past him once, and he got substituted. And it was the longest walk-off in history because he was at the corner flag on the left-hand side of the pitch down the clock end where the away fans are, right? And he walked like a snail. And then they brought De Bruyne on, and De Bruyne walked all the way over to take the corner. That killed 2 minutes of the game. But that there, when we played, I think it was Vorskla, one of their players dived in the box and he went right in his face, didn't he? Do you remember? And he was like, mate, we have needed that nasty little streak just to, again, against Zaha at the weekend. He left a couple on him. Yeah. If we had done that from minute one, and with players like Zaha, you have got to stick it on him first minute. First tackle, bang, because you ain't getting a yellow in the first minute unless you do something really stupid, right? But then that means that player's going to think, fuck, I ain't getting past him easy today, right? And, you know, we've needed somebody like him. The only thing with him is he lacks pace.
Well, he will do it at 35, won't he?
Exactly. But if you're never out of position, it ain't a problem. Yeah. Which is why Monreal is so good for us, because he's rarely out of position. And that's why he always mops up and blah, blah, blah. But no, you're right. Lichtsteiner's a quality player. And the one thing I'll say about him as well is he's made Hector Bellerin up his fucking game this season. He ain't great defensively still, but he's improved. But going forward, he now don't think about crossing. He just crosses. And he's set up so many goals this season, Bellerin, already, right? That having the fact that Lichtsteiner's on your case is probably guiding him through, tutoring him, like helping him along, which is great. That can only be good for us. But the fact that Bellerin's now whipping balls in and we're scoring off of them, do you know what I mean? It's great as well. So yeah, it all goes well when you've got players like that. Listen, he's only here for a year. I think it's a year he signed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If that helps make Bellerin a top right back by the end of that year, it was the best whatever it is we're paying him every week we've spent for a long time, isn't it?
There's without getting too deep into it, because this is one of these things that when I say it, it's better explained when you're having a pint in the pub. But it's not uncommon, and you saw it. Perhaps a good example is when Jose arrives at Manchester United and he brings in Zlatan. That you bring a player with you, or maybe a couple of players who are going to set an example in the dressing room. Set the tone. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, they keep the standards high in training. It's one of the reasons why people like Milner is so loved at Liverpool, is that he keeps the standards really, really high in training. Now, you can't, I would say, for want of a better phrase, you can't buy that sometimes. Like, you either know who these sort of players are and you keep hold of them, or you take them with them everywhere, or if you're very lucky, there is somebody there at the club when you arrive. But it's unquestionable that there's been an absolute quantum shift in attitude, behaviour, just general workmanlike attitude around the pitch. People are generally working hard because they're being challenged to.
Well, we're number one out of all 20 teams in that league on distance covered this season.
Yeah.
Right, and that in itself says all we need to know, right? I see at Newcastle away in stoppage time after Newcastle had got one back, Mesut Ozil run 60 yards on a long ball over the top, bump off the centre-back in the box and hold the ball up and square it to Welbeck. Yeah. Eventually, we pull it wide. That wouldn't have happened last season. I've seen him substitute Mesut Ozil at Chelsea away on 65 minutes. He substituted him the other night and he threw his gloves on the floor.
Yeah.
Right? I love all that. It means he cares. Same with Sanchez when he was here. And, you know,
I think that's the thing with Ozil. And again, many times I've said I think he's a fantastic player. For years, I thought he was the best player. Like his movement off the ball and the way he dragged people away and stuff like this, particularly when he was at Real Madrid, astonishing player, really, really good. But if you don't light a fire under his arse, you aren't going to get the very, very best from him. You're going to get the occasional 8 out of 10, but by and large, a lot of the time, you're going to get 6 out of 10.
Well, I mean,
considering the money and the attitude and what he represents as an Arsenal player, that's really, really important to try and get as many 8 out of 10 performances out of him as you possibly can.
Exactly.
Well, I suppose, I mean, that kind of move on in terms of where I wanted to go with it. What I wanted to do was kind of ask you, Robbie, where do you see our biggest threats that we can pose, and what are our biggest weaknesses that you hope Liverpool will exploit? It's that difficult thing about that. I haven't read any like the pre-match, right? But the battle between Bellerin and Robertson is massive. For me, the game is probably won and lost there on that side of the pitch. People, I know. I think it was you, Lee, that put some tweets out earlier in the week about trying to stop for Bobby Firmino, which is right. But what's happened over the course of the last couple of weeks is people have been working on shutting down Robertson's side, where Trent hasn't been playing very well because he's played an enormous amount of football and he's still a very young lad. An awful lot of stuff has come down Liverpool's left. Hang on a minute. What? Left. Yeah, I had to think which side I was. Anyway, so it's all come down the left-hand side, and
he's become a really, really, really important player for us. He's also played every game up until last weekend. So he needed a rest. I mean, it's another thing where you look at the guy and like they've made him Scotland captain. His attitude's brilliant. He just runs and runs and runs. He's got an amazing engine on him. The other thing that we've got to try and do is we've got to try and stop your guys getting what I refer to as good possession in the middle of the park. You've got players there in the middle of the park that can just take the game away from us. I think everybody knows that. And then you can just feed the lads up front with killer balls. And if we're not able to stop and win that battle in the middle of the park, hold the ball and use it well, what happens is what Arsenal have done recently is they've become really, really good on the transition, which is another thing that Unai Emery's brought in. Yeah. And I wouldn't call you a counter-attacking team by any stretch of imagination. But if we're not 100% on the ball, and allowing you to have good ball, good possession, and good opportunities in the middle of the park, you're going to make our goalkeeper work.
Do you expect to dominate possession?
Well, honestly, like if you look at the stats, and there's so many things you can look on Twitter these days, like the stats bomb guys and that. Liverpool this year have been so much less willing to go through games with like 65, 75, 80% of the ball like they were last season. They dropped off in the amount of breaking down and shutting sides down and winning the ball in that defensive third of the pitch as they were last season. And by Liverpool standards, in comparison to what we've seen previously under Klopp, that's incredibly pragmatic. But by Premiership standards, it's not. So what we've got to do is, I expect us to be going at 100% because it's a big game, and no two ways about it. Liverpool Arsenal is always going to be a big game, home or away. It's always a big game. For me, last year's game at the Emirates was one of the best games of the season, and it was.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
What I think. What definitely did happen last year was that it became like a game of tennis. It just became back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. What Liverpool have tried to do this season, as you've probably seen, is not allow sides to do that. Not allow it to become like a game of tennis. It's this idea of control the game without the ball, rather than previously we've been controlling the game with all of the ball against the majority of sides. Because you look back to last season, and this, you've got to remember last year we drew with West Brom twice in the league, and we lost to West Brom at home in the FA Cup. Right? If you're going to do anything in this league, if you want to finish top four, let alone challenge City, you have to find a way to just make sure you win games, winning ugly, whatever you want to call it, and. Of course, we all want to beat everybody 5-0, but you don't win the league winning every game 5-0. City aren't doing that, right? They're winning the occasional game by a big number, but they aren't doing that. When they came to play us at Anfield, they were the most pragmatic I've ever seen a Pep Guardiola side, right? That's the thing about learning your lessons over a period of time, learning the hard way. What Liverpool need to do this weekend is we've got to shut you down in the middle of the park. We've got to. We're blessed that we've got Gini Wijnaldum. We're blessed that we've got Milner. Who the third one of those is up for debate. They don't seem to trust Shaqiri just yet. That's fair enough. The player that Liverpool have missed the most this year, unquestionably, and since he got injured, Liverpool have been like this. Your man, Cowabunga boy, turtle face. we miss him terribly because he was doing this amazing thing where he's just breaking the lines and pulling people out, making space for Firmino, and that's why we were so desperate to try and get Nabil Fekir. That's what I think they're trying to teach Shaqiri to do. I also think that's what they're trying to teach Naby Keita to do, and it's going to take longer. It's going to take a longer period. Like a lot of people going, "What's going on with Naby Keita?" Apparently, the situation is that he's really struggled with the language difference. He can speak French and very pidgin English, and he's still learning the system, and it definitely takes time. But yeah, we've absolutely missed we've missed him. You know, I can't believe we say that. I can't believe I'm saying it sometimes as well. If you'd have said who would be more important, Coutinho, you know, if you asked me at Christmas when we did one of these videos before, like who's going to be more important for Liverpool over the course of the next calendar year, Coutinho or Oxlade-Chamberlain, I would never have thought of saying Oxlade-Chamberlain, even though I've always rated him. But it's a hand-in-glove thing where the guy just came in, he learned the system, and it worked really, really well. It took time. That's the other thing you've got to remember. Like, it's the 1st of November. We're still in the grind. We're still in the grind of the season. We've only really just got going. And this is when things get really, really hard. And I expect the top 4 to finish, every single side to finish in the top 4. And I expect Arsenal to be one of them, to finish with 80-plus points this year. Right? Easy. And yet, if you want to actually win the league, if you want to go toe-to-toe with City, like you could have 90 points and not win the league. And Liverpool have done that before. Like, I know we were talking about this again on Twitter this week, Lee, about Liverpool haven't won the league in God knows how long, right? But by fuck have we come close a couple of times. We had was it the 08-09 season? We finished with 90 points and didn't win the league. Manchester United won the league with 94, I think it was.
Yeah,
and that's astonishing. It's absolutely astonishing to do that well. But that's where we are. You look at where City are. I thought they were absolutely brilliant when I watched them against Liverpool. I thought they were great against you guys without ever really having to get out of third gear. But that Arsenal that played City and this Arsenal are two completely different monsters.
Yeah.
Completely different monsters.
Yeah. And I suppose that's the point. I was listening to Robby. And it made me think, in terms of midfield, do we have the better midfield of us and Liverpool? Taking out, but I'm not counting Salah and Mane in that. I see them as attackers. I'm talking about our midfield core.
I mean, obviously you've lost Guendouzi, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's just this thing where Guendouzi and Torreira have worked together like peas and carrots almost immediately. And you can't buy that. You just can't buy it. You've just got two lads that are just literally just perfect. And you've seen it before with like Pallister and Bruce as central defenders. They were perfect for one another. Rio Ferdinand and Vidic were perfect for one another. To have that in the middle of the park, I think the last time I saw it was probably Makelele and Frank Lampard, really, where they were just like, it just doesn't get any better. They just work in unison, work perfectly. I think it's a massive, massive backhanded compliment to Guendouzi that they've moved Xhaka to left back over the last couple of weeks. I think that says how much the manager rates him and what a massive impact the lad's had. You are probably going to miss him quite badly.
I agree with that, right? One thing I'll say is like some of his...
Do you think we have a better midfield core than Liverpool?
Who, me? Or Robby? Me?
Yeah, go on, ask Lee.
I don't know, man. I don't know, because Mesut Ozil on his day, like we see against Leicester, is fucking world class. But we've seen all too often, especially in these games, although he did score against Liverpool last season at home to put us 3-2 up in that mad 5-minute spell where there was flares going off in the North Bank and fucking limbs everywhere. That was mad. But him on his day is better than Firmino on his day. But I still think Firmino is the most underrated footballer in the Premier League. What that guy does for Liverpool, when Liverpool are on it, like properly on it, he is that link to patterns of play turning over so quickly. And Liverpool, he presses mad. His press is unbelievable, right? And what he does is he'll put the shift in, even if it ain't going well for him and he ain't getting all his flicks and his passes off, he'll still put the graft in. And that's what you've got to do as a pro, right? And that's why the best players are always the most hardworking, right? If you look at Lionel Messi or Ronaldo, maybe not so much Ronaldo, but Ronaldo's still a hard worker off the ball, right? But Lionel Messi is the best player in the world. even when he's having a shitter, that guy is still working for the team, right? And that's what I think Firmino brings to Liverpool. But when Liverpool are flying and they're blitzing 4s and 5s, he is the focal point of that team, especially in midfield, because although he plays as a false 9, most of the time he's dropping back in. So he's sort of like a number 10, isn't he, really?
Yeah.
Right? So it's confusing for a centre-back. Do I go with him or do I stay? Or do I... Like, and if you stay, he'll kill you all day long, right? Yeah. And his passing is fucking crisp. It's quick. And when you've got Mane and Salah, and he's got the ball, watch him. They're both on their bike, mate. As soon as he gets the ball and he spins and turns and goes at a centre-back, they're on their bike, right? And he's got the ability to ping a 25-yard screamer. He's got the ability to find a slide rule pass. And that's why I said the other day, right, on Twitter, if we stop him, I think we win this game. Because I think he's their best player. Although Salah gets all the plaudits, and rightly so, for all the goals he scored last season, right? And Mane is a sick footballer. But I don't worry so much about Salah because the guy ain't got a right foot. So you know he's most of the time going to come inside. Right? Now, if Monreal's clever enough, if Monreal plays, which I think he will play, hopefully he's smart enough and got the experience to go, do you know what? I ain't going to show him inside. And hopefully Bellerin, I mean, Mane's a bit more technical with both feet, yeah? But he can match him for pace, hopefully, right? Although he has lost a yard of pace, Bellerin, somehow. Maybe it's the hair weight, right? Right? But what I will say, right, is this is what I think we're going to do, right? We know Liverpool are going to start really quickly. They do it every game. They try and suffocate you inside the first 20, 25 minutes, right? And they press you so high up the pitch and they try and force the mistakes, right? So I think Emery's not stupid. Emery sets up a team, and we've seen it all season, Chris, right? He will set up a team and we're raising eyebrows going, why is he starting today? Hang on a minute. Why is he starting? Right? Because he sets up a team to counter-attack the team we are playing, like to counter-attack their strength, right? Now, Liverpool's strength is to suffocate a team in the first 20 minutes, try and nick 2 goals, and then they can just take the piss, right? And they're defensively sound this season, so you're fucked. As soon as they go 2-0 up, you're pretty much doomed, right? And even 1-0 up, because they'll just kill you on the counter, right? What I think we will do, and what Emery will do, is he will set up so we camp on the edge of our box, right? They ain't going to get in behind us. We've then got to make sure Monreal and Bellerin track their runners, and he will put Torreira on Firmino, and everywhere Firmino goes, Torreira will be on him, snapping at his heels, right? Now, if we do that, what I think we'll also do is go with Iwobi, Welbeck and Aubameyang. I don't think Lacazette start this game. And I know Aubameyang got clattered last night, and that was a fucking dirty challenge, man. That was filth, right? But he when I watched the end of the game, he was limping off Aubameyang. And I hope he's all right. Because if we sit deep in that first 20 minutes and stop Liverpool suffocating us, Torreira hopefully can snap the ball and get away from Firmino. Quick turnover to Ozil. We have now got Welbeck, Iwobi and Aubameyang. That is pace and power on a counter-attack. And I think that's what we will do in this game. Right? Now, if we do that, as much as I rate Van Dijk, and I think he is the best centre-back in the league, Alderweireld's not been as good this season. Last season, I thought Alderweireld was the best centre-back we've got in the Premier League, right? But I've always rated Van Dijk, and I do think this season he started to show his class a bit more. He's also made Lovren play a hell of a lot better. You know, he don't look like a fucking liability.
Almost the way Socrates is trying to drag Mustafi.
Exactly. I mean, bar the stupid foul Mustafi done against Fulham.
Yeah.
Not Fulham, sorry, Palace the other day. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. But Mustafi's been so much more improved this season. And it just shows, right, if you can plug a gap at centre-back, you can raise an average centre-back like Lovren or Mustafi to play a hell of a lot better. Now, Alexander-Arnold, let me tell you something, right? If that guy scores and he don't put the ball under his shirt like a pregnant lady, right, he's missed the fucking trick, right? Straight up, right? And Robertson, we know that they're going to try and push our fullbacks back. We know that, right? And we know that Liverpool are going to try and press high, which is why we need the pace and the power. Well, now, Iwobi's been on decent form other than the game the other night against, the game the other day against Palace. I thought he was poor in that game, right? And Welbeck, I don't think he was great last night, but it's another run out and it keeps the confidence going. He's been started again. Do you know what I mean? And I think that if Liverpool try and do what they do in nine games out of 10 and press high, then we've got to play with them three up front. Because as soon as we get the ball from Torreira, straight to Ozil, bang, they've got to be gone. And we know with Aubameyang's movement, he's just unreal, mate. You give him a chance, it's a goal, right? And it's going to be fine margins. I've seen people saying like, oh, Liverpool are going to spank us. Our defence is shit, blah, blah, blah. Listen, they're not a prime Barcelona, right? They're not, okay? We're not great defensively, granted. And everyone's looking at the games we've played this season, Watford, Everton, West Ham. They've all had chances, all had big chances, right? And they ain't taken them. If Salah gets a chance on his left foot, it's a goal, right? If Firmino gets a chance in the box, it's a goal. Same with Mane, left or right foot, it's a goal, right? Now, we've got to sit so deep and just go, yeah, do you know what? We're going to manage this game so well. And everywhere Firmino goes, Torreira's snapping at him. As soon as we get the ball, bang, quick, decisive passing and quick runners off the ball. But out of possession, we've got to go to basically a 4-5-1 and just leave Aubameyang up top on his own, right? And what Welbeck and Iwobi will give you, more so than a Lacazette up top and Aubameyang on the left, is that Aubameyang ain't going to track back and help Monreal.
Yeah.
Danny Welbeck or Iwobi on that side will, and vice versa on the other side. But, you know, I just think that everyone's talking this up, that Arsenal are shit defensively, Liverpool are fucking great going forward. It's only going to go one way. It's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, of course it is. Listen, this is a big game. They always are. It's that thing like Liverpool versus Manchester United's coming up on a Monday night in a couple of weeks, and the Sky Sports will be giving it the bullshit Red Monday again, or stuff bullshit like this, right? If you know anything about football, you know this is going to be a tough game, right?
Exactly.
Any games between the top six, as we saw on Monday night, are tough games. That was a fucking dog of a game with Spurs today, yeah?
Yeah.
But if you're expecting it to, like, I would love it if we had a game like we had last season. Do I expect it to happen? Fucking more chance of winning the fucking lottery, to be honest with you. I just don't. That's not the way that these two sides play anymore.
I agree. But both teams, exactly. Both teams. Listen, Klopp's not stupid, right? And Liverpool fans think they've got a chance to rival City this season, right? Klopp is not going to sit there and go gung ho against us, right? And try and blitz us and try and smash us apart, because he knows that on the counter attack, with the pace we've got and with a top banger like Aubameyang or Lacazette, whoever it may be, he knows that if he goes too gung ho, we'll fuck him, right? And the same with our manager. We're not going to sit there and take the game to you, because that would just be fucking ridiculous. That would be suicide. That would just be like, we're just going to gift you a win.
Boys, let's be real, right? It's going to be a draw. Let's be real right now. It's going to be a
We're winning, man. We're winning it. We're winning it.
Oh, well, listen. What I would say is this, like I said, these big games are massive, right? And what generally happens is, if you are going to win it, if Arsenal are going to win it, it will probably come from a mistake from Liverpool.
Yeah.
Right? It will probably come from a mistake from Liverpool. It might be a moment of magic from Ozil or Aubameyang, might well be. But the most likely outcome will be that it will be a mistake from a corner or something like that.
For me, if we're going to win it, we must work harder than you.
Absolutely. And that's the challenge. That's always going to be the challenge.
Absolutely must.
How often can you do that? You've played the other night, you know, and not everybody's played. We've had a week to prepare for this game as well. And I think a lot of people are kind of forgetting that.
See, yeah, but in a way, right, that could go counter-attack against you, right? That could go to side, because you've had a whole week off by the time this game comes around, right? We've played a game, albeit not all of our first 11 that's going to start against Liverpool have played this game, right? Aubameyang come off the bench, Torreira come off the bench. I don't think Mustafi has started the weekend. I think Socrates and Holding has started.
I agree. I think it was a big indication.
Massive indication. Listen, I'm not going to slag Mustafi off, because, like I said earlier, I think he's been a lot more improved this season, right? But we didn't have Bellerin because obviously he's out. But I do think he'll start at the weekend. I think this is all hype, right? I don't think that I think Monreal will make it. I think he'll start, right, and he will be a massive plus for us if he starts, because that means we can put Xhaka back next to Torreira, right? Because obviously Guendouzi's out, and I think that Xhaka, as much as people slag the guy off, when he's playing with Torreira, he's so much better, because Torreira does all the donkey work and he's his legs, which allows Xhaka to move further up the pitch 10 yards and then spray the passes, right? Because we know that he can't defend. We know he can't turn. We know that he's petulant and pulls people back and fouls people. But when he's got Torreira next to him, Torreira's doing all that hard work for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that allows Xhaka to show his quality. And if you give him a free kick, he'll score 1 out of 3.
It comes back to what we're talking about. Like, you've gone to a situation where Arsenal are now playing, when you've got Guendouzi there with Torreira, what most people would describe as you're playing 2 sixes. And when you've been playing Xhaka there last season, and you were playing, what's his chops that went to West Ham?
Wilshere.
Yeah, you're playing 8s and asking them to do a 6's job. And it's just not going to happen. And what I agree with what you're saying, Lee. The other thing you've got to take into account is Gini Wijnaldum's and Milner's work rate. Like,
yeah, see, that's the thing. Like if we match your work rate, then it'll probably end up a draw. Yeah, if we better your work rate,
you're in with a sniff.
Then we've got a great chance. And listen, the way I look at it, right? So many Arsenal fans are saying, "Oh, I'll be happy with a draw." This is Arsenal fucking football club. We're at home. Let's remember this, right? We're not playing at Anfield where we're going to have our pants pulled down and slapped about, yeah? Right? We're at home. And as good as you were last season, and I know you've improved defensively this season, but you had a prime Salah last season, bagging goals for fun, right? You still had Firmino, you still had Mane, you still had other players on the pitch, right? You had Henderson, etc., right? Now, we scored 3 goals in 5 minutes in that second half. And if Petr Cech hadn't have fucking flapped at that fucking shot, we would have won that game from 2-0 down.
That's football.
I know you've changed the goalkeeper, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen enough of Alisson to rate where he is. But let's be real, he's better than fucking Karius, and he's better than fucking Mignolet, right? Mignolet flapped at the free kick from Xhaka last season, or the shot.
Lee, I can tell you categorically, if you were to rate them as goalkeepers, Alisson is, Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, Tottenham, and Karius is Kidderminster fucking Harriers, right? Like the upgrade is enormous. I never liked Mignolet because he was never. Chig, we've talked about this a lot. I never liked Mignolet because he never talked. Alisson never shuts up.
Yeah.
Van Dijk never shuts up. And we knew that the problem was they didn't communicate enough. They weren't watching and tracking runners, and now they are. Gomez has been I cannot tell you how improved Joe Gomez is from having.
Who's better out of Leno and Alisson, do you think?
Sorry, who's better out of Leno and Alisson?
Yeah.
Alisson.
Alisson.
Probably
I'd agree. Alisson.
Leno's not a very good goalkeeper. He is a good goalkeeper.
And I haven't seen a great deal of Alisson, but I'd still say Alisson's the better goalkeeper.
I like Leno.
Because I've seen more of Alisson than I have of Leno, even though Leno's played the last X amount of games. I've still seen more of him over his career to know that Alisson's the better goalkeeper.
The thing is as well is like Alisson is like physically and skills-wise more suited to the Premiership than I think Leno is. I honestly genuinely think Leno is a massive, massive upgrade. I can remember doing a show with you, Chig, when you first signed Petr Cech, and I sort of said to you then, are you getting him when he's like on the bubble of the downturn? You're not getting peak Petr Cech. What I think Arsenal probably are getting with Leno is a guy that in the next 5 years could become one of the next top 5 goalkeepers in the world. He definitely has the potential to do that. The issue is that Alisson already is one of the top 5 goalkeepers in the world.
That's a bold statement.
I can back it up by the fact that we've let him.
That's a bold statement.
Especially when we've let him 4 goals this season. That's pretty good comparison to last season.
That's true. But at the same time, like I think David De Gea is the best goalkeeper in the world.
I think he's very, very good. Yeah.
Right? I think he is the best, right?
Yeah.
You've also got Manuel Neuer, but one thing I'll say about Manuel Neuer is he looks great because they're so superior in that league.
He never has to do anything. Yeah.
Exactly. So he can loiter on the halfway line all he likes. You put him in the Premier League, he won't look anywhere near as good. He's still a good goalkeeper, and I still think he's top 5 in the world. You've then got Handanovic.
Yeah, he's good.
Subasic. Is it Subasic? Who's the Atletico? It's not Subasic. What's his name? The Atletico goalkeeper.
Jan, going to cost
Oblak.
you.
Sorry, Oblak. Yeah, Oblak. Oblak, for me, is second best goalkeeper in the world, behind David De Gea.
I agree with you. But my point is this, Lee. I would agree with everything you said there, fully. I absolutely love Jan Oblak, but he'd be no good to us at Liverpool, and he'd be no good to you at Arsenal because he doesn't play in the style that you want from them. Fully. He fits in at Atletico because he's so good. Because they sit so deep and their defence is fucking unbelievable. He don't need to do the passing out from the back shit because he just knows his defence is just going to clear everything to Rose. Absolutely. But my question is, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the guy at all, but is that in his locker? Is he capable of doing that? I'm sure he could be taught it. I'm sure it could be coached. It might take time. If you're spending £90 million on a goalkeeper, you're expecting results straight away. You can say what you want about Alisson. What we have got from the guy is results straight away. He had one mistake against Leicester where we were already winning the game. And if you're gonna fuck up and fuck up royally, that's the exact situation where you want it to happen. Now, if he does that and we give fucking Olays and then fucking Aubameyang takes the ball off us against us in the weekend and that's how we lose the game because he's making a mistake. Yeah, I'll be calling him a cunt.
See, the one thing that gives me confidence going into this game, right, is like we played Man City first game of the season, right? And I said this to you, Chris, right? The last time I see Edison make so many mistakes when the ball's at his feet was when you lot played him in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Right? And the reason that happened is because we pressed that goalkeeper. Every time the ball went back, we pressed him. If Ozil had controlled a ball like he does 999 times out of 1,000, we would have been 2-1 with 10, 15 minutes to go. Lacazette ripped them a new one when he came on, right? Then we played Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge. If we had taken our chances, which we didn't, but if we had, we would have been winning that game 4 or 5-1 at half time because Iwobi, Mickey and Aubameyang missed sitter after sitter, right? So the one thing that gives me confidence is that against Matt, we lost both of the games and everyone can call, look, soft Arsenal, they've rolled over against the top 6 team again, right? The difference is we didn't get humiliated against Man City.
No,
yes, we lost, but on another day, we would have been back in that game with 15 minutes to go. And the fact that they longed out that Mahrez substitution to slow the game down shows that they were a bit worried at that point when Lacazette was killing them, right?
You've got to take those backhanded compliments where you can.
Exactly. Chelsea, I don't blame Mustafi for Morata's goal in the second half, right? Or whenever he scored it. Morata's goal, that was a long ball over the top. And basically, he went in and he was full pace, twisting and stepping over and doing all that. Mustafi's backtracking, off balance. 9 times out of 10, no matter how good or bad the striker is, and I don't rate Morata, but no matter how good the striker is, if you're a Premier League striker, a Spanish international, and you are running full pelt at a German international centre-back, and he's off balance and you're twisting and turning, 9 times out of 10, that results in a shot on goal that hits the target. It did, so I don't blame Mustafi, but it's fine margins, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we had taken our chances against both of them, I'm not saying we would have got anything out of the City game because they were in third gear. Right? But against Chelsea, if we had taken our chances, we would have been 4 or 5 at half time. And that is going to be hard to come back from. But Man City, even if we took our chances, they were in third gear. So I just look at it and I just think, right, Liverpool are unbeaten and fair play. You know, you're unbeaten. I know you scored an absolute fucking worldie with Daniel Sturridge to get a draw at Chelsea.
Yeah.
You know, but that was just like a 1 in a million chance. He's just pinged that and it's gone in.
Yeah. Listen, it's that again. That's the football that you can't fucking control, isn't it? They scored a last-minute goal against PSG. They scored a last-minute goal against Chelsea. But then the week after that, we let in a last-minute goal at Napoli. That's fucking football.
Yeah.
That's
and the same. Like I didn't watch the game you lot played against Huddersfield, but I looked today at the stats. Right, you had 2 shots on target. Now, I didn't watch the game, so I can't tell whether you ripped them and you were skying sitters or whatever. I don't know, right? No. Right? But you had 2 shots on target in that game, right? And that's Huddersfield. Now, I'd like to think that our defence, even as shaky as it is better than Huddersfield.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think the thing is as well is like we were poor against Huddersfield, and you've got to give Huddersfield all the credit in the world. They also had a full week. It's the game after the internationals. They have no internationals away. They've been able to properly prepare for the game, and that's what they did. And it was a low block, and it worked really, really well. Liverpool are fucking bringing players back from Brazil and all this sort of shite. And what can you do? You know, what can you do? That's also the kind of game we were drawing last season.
Exactly. I was going to say that you found the way to win.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm saying with Arsenal this season, right? Is that everyone can look at it and say we're flaky defensively, but we're still nicking the win, right? And last season, we won 1 away game in 2018 from January to May at the end of the season, right? Yeah, 1 away game, right? This season we've already won 3. I'm sorry,
again, the thing
Newcastle. Who else we played? Either way, we've won back-to-backs, whatever, right?
I think it was Brighton.
Newcastle. I can't remember who else we played. Fucking.
Again, Chig's had me on the show so many times, and I always say this phrase that trophies are tangible. That's a showing that's the hammer that Spurs always get hit with. You know, well, he hasn't won anything. That's fair enough. That's right.
The bridesmaid, not the bride.
But you can't tell me that Spurs haven't improved, because clearly they have. And it's exactly the same thing with Arsenal. The improvement from May to now is stark. It is stark. And Ure is to be commended. His coaching team is to be commended. The players are to be commended for this change in attitude. And it's wonderful when these things happen, and they happen so well.
Do you know what the good thing as well is, right? It's like Lacazette was signed for 50 million quid, there or thereabouts, right? A few months later, after being subbed every game on 60 minutes, 70 minutes or whatever, right? Sitting on the bench at Anfield last season. We went all the way out to Anfield last season, all the way up there, that 4-hour drive. We were like, Lacazette's going to start today. Kolasinac's going to start today. And we're looking at ways, how the fuck are we going to beat this team? How are we going to beat Liverpool? Lacazette score, right? We get there. Lacazette's on the bench straight away. Our whole fan base is deflated, right? Our £50 million guys on the bench, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
He then sees himself get substituted nearly every game on 70 minutes or 65, right? He then sees a £60 million striker, Aubameyang, come in. This guy is a banger. You've only got to look at his record, regardless of what fucking league. He is a banger, right? He could have so easily gone sideways, Lacazette, yeah? The camaraderie and the bromance, when Lacazette scored against Fulham, the first goal Lacazette scored against Fulham, like to put us 1-0 up, not only was it a fucking great finish, right, but the first thing in Lacazette's mind was, I'm going to go and run over to the bench and I'm going to fucking cuddle Aubameyang. Yeah? And now to me, that would not have happened last season. Yeah? And we then ended up bringing Aubameyang on in the second half, and he pinged 2 goals, right? And we won the game 5-1.
I think this is fantastic. Go on, Chris. Chris, you've not said a lot. It's just been me and Lee.
I'm just letting, because I know you guys like to
falling asleep.
But all right, so let me get what your 1 to 11. Robbie, what was your
Christ? Let's go. Alisson in goal. I'm going to say Joe Gomez at right back. I'm going to say Robertson at left back. I'm going to say Lovren and Van Dijk in the middle. Henderson, Gini and Millie in the middle of the park. And then the 3 amigos at the top. I don't think they're going to play Trent because Snapchat's a motherfucker.
Seriously, if he plays and he scores, he has got to put that ball under his t-shirt, man, and run around giving it like, or do the Brazilian celebration back in the day, the little cradle in the arms.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, mate. If he don't do one of them celebrations on his next goal, he has missed a trick. Trust me.
He's took a lot of flack this week, that lad, but he's been absolutely first class. The stuff he's been doing around the club has been absolutely amazing. He's been paying. They're having a Christmas party next month for a load of the kids who are struggling, with like food banks and whatnot. And he's basically pledged something like 20 grand to make sure that they have basically the time of their lives. He's bought a load of kit for players and stuff for young kids and stuff like that.
Fair play to him, man.
Absolutely class act of a young lad. Is he going to make mistakes with his life? Of course he is. Didn't fucking we? Fucking hell, I've got about 16 kids running around that I used to fucking go around, hello, darling, how are you? I'm bringing my fucking knitting needle. Yeah, darling.
Apparently Henderson is injured. According to Usman, who's been trolling the shit out of the chat room.
Yeah,
because he's a Liverpool.
Mate, he's been on the madness. I reckon Usman LFC might be Stell. It might be Stell.
Oh, really?
I spoke to Stell earlier. I actually spoke to him earlier.
It might, if it's not Hendo, but Hendo's had the best part of a week and a half to try and get over this. So it might be Fabinho. But if I had my choice, it'd be Henderson. Because he's brilliant in games like this. He's absolutely brilliant at controlling tempo, playing it simple, playing it quick. He's really, really good at controlling tempos of games. And if we're going to beat Arsenal or get anything out of the game, that's one of the things that we're really, really going to need to do. As we talked about before, about the thing with Torreira and Bobby Firmino. And so if he's fit, he plays for me. But that's me. I don't get to pick the team. If Klopp's ever fucking paying attention to what the fuck I'm saying, then we're in deep fucking shit.
Fair enough. All right, Lee, you know how we do. Let's see if we can come up with a combined 1 to 11.
Right, Chig ain't getting in goal, so it's definitely Leno, yeah?
Please play Jack. Please play Jack.
As someone in the chat room said, let's beat these Liverpools. So, in goal, who we got?
Leno, all day long.
Yeah, no chance. I mean, I've been trying to defend Chig, but that game yesterday, watching him, I was like, what is going on?
I see a good tweet yesterday, right? Somebody said Chig's put his hand up in the air as if to say, oh, sorry. Saying Colombia's like, oh, sorry for like the 10th time this season.
Sorry.
I've got a fucking question in the chat room for Robby, so I have to come back.
All right, hang on a minute. Let me read the chat room. Yeah, go on. Do you want me to do this now, or do you want to finish this?
Do it after. Let's get through the 120.
Yeah.
So,
so right back.
Right back, Hector.
Bellerin. Yeah, Zoolander.
Got to be. Holding and Socrates in the middle.
All day long, yeah. Monreal left back.
Monreal left back, I agree. I think they're quietly keeping him just ticking over just so he can play in this game. So
yeah. Right, same with Bellerin, right? Listen, like all this hype, this is going to go on for the rest of the week about Bellerin still injured. He's got a tissue injury, a muscle work.
Agreed.
As he fuck.
Agreed.
He will start at the weekend. It's all hype. So Liverpool go, oh, Mane's going to rip Lichtsteiner a new one. And then bang, on the day, Bellerin starts. Straight away, Mane's now thinking, fuck.
Gamesmanship. You've got to make it. You've got to get any advantage you can with Liverpool. So if they think they're up against Lichtsteiner, so be it.
Chris, look at last season, right? We played Man United at the Emirates. I know we lost in the end, right? But that whole build up to that game was Lacazette's fucked, Lacazette's fucked, Lacazette's fucked, bang, and Lacazette starts. Yeah, the buzz that night around the Emirates, right? Because that was a night game, right? I think it was a Saturday kickoff, 5:30, right? The buzz around that game, as soon as everyone outside the ground found out the news Lacazette was starting, it gave us a lift, and then we flopped in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, fuck it. Let's just fucking do a Katie Price and spread them, you know what I'm saying?
I know. So tell me about it.
Yeah, man.
So in the midfield?
Torreira and Xhaka.
Yeah, I agree. Wouldn't mind if Maitland-Niles is on the bench, but I think that's the two you go with.
Yeah, it's a step too far for him, man. He's only just come back. But
I agree.
And Ramsey, I'm sorry, his performance last night was a fucking joke. So
yeah.
So
he's
man,
not playing well, bro. Apart from the wonderful, he's not playing well. It's as simple as that.
No, he's not. And like, obviously Guendouzi's now suspended. So I ain't going with Ramsey, man. No chance. Ain't happening. It's all about Xhaka. Listen, I see something when it pops up against Palace the other day. I think Xhaka started the last 61 or 65 games for Arsenal in the league. Yeah,
he's got a crazy consistent.
Yeah, but you know what? That shows, that guy is rarely injured, if ever. So fair play to him, because listen, he ain't the quickest. He's got a twist and turn against better players, and he's always starting. Fair play to him, man.
I couldn't agree more. Who are our three attacking midfielders?
You missed the central attacking midfielder.
Well,
no, sorry, I'm lying. You said three attacking midfielders, didn't you?
Yeah. I don't mean the three up front.
Sorry, mate. I've had a couple of beers, mate. You know what I'm saying? I can't hear you with this out on, seriously. I'm going to go with Iwobi left, because I think he's better on the left than he is the right.
I think so too. Look, watching him yesterday, I think so too.
I think that we'll go with Welbeck on the right.
Okay.
Because I think that his work rate tracking back is better than Mkhitaryan for a start. It's better than Ozil on the right. Yeah, it's better than anyone on the fucking right. Danny Welbeck's work rate off the ball is up there with anyone in the Premier League. He might not be that great, technically, but his work rate, fair play to him. And we're going to need work rate and physicality, and he's got both.
Let me pause you a second, because I know you're a Welbeck critic. Would you give Welbeck a new contract?
Yeah.
You would? Wow, that's a big turnaround for you.
It wouldn't be don't get me wrong, it wouldn't be a fucking 5 year on 100 grand, mate. Don't worry about it. Yeah? It'd
be fucking Man United, is it? Come on.
It'd be a 2 year on about fucking 60. Or whatever you're on now, we'll just renew it and add $1,000 on. If you don't like it, go and play at fucking Brentford, bruv.
The thing is, guys, like somebody like Danny Welbeck plays every week for Wolves or
Everton,
yeah.
West Ham.
Example. Do you know what I mean? He plays.
He can go and join Jackie Boy down at West Ham. You know what I mean?
All jokes aside, it would be a really good fit for him.
Well, it used to be Manchester United's fucking elephant's graveyard, and now it's Arsenal's elephant's graveyard.
Exactly.
So I've always liked Danny Welbeck. I watched him a lot when he was on loan at Preston. And you can make an argument that the lads never really kicked on from a lad that did have an enormous amount of potential. But as Lee rightly says, he works his fucking bollocks off, and sometimes you need that. That's exactly how I would describe.
Do you know what he is? He is the perfect Unai Emery player.
Yeah,
right? Because he's not going to cry and bitch about fucking getting in the team or not. He's not going to fucking do anything stupid off the pitch, right? He's got the pace and power and physicality, and you know that when he comes into the team, he is going to work his fucking arse off. And if you get him one-on-one, he'll probably fucking fall over, right?
Yeah.
But
you don't want him on penalty duty either, do you?
Although saying that, when he got clean through against Sporting Lisbon, I knew he was going to score. I knew he'd score that.
Yeah, that was a good finish for him, mate.
And that was a fucking good goal, man. That was probably one of his best goals for Arsenal. All of his other goals, he's stumbling over as he's hitting them, That was a good finish. Mate, fair play to him. Listen, I'd give him a little 2 or 3 year deal, and I'd just say to him, look, you're not going on a massive pay rise, but you're going to be a big part of my squad. And if you look at the Sevilla teams that Emery had, he had players like Welbeck of that mould, like pace, power, tracking back, work rate. Everyone fights for the team. They won 3 Europa Leagues in a row.
He fits the system. He fits the system really, really well. I don't think he's ever going to score you 15 goals a season. Right? I just don't think that.
No, of course he ain't. If he gets 10, it's a fucking result.
But he will be a lad that if you come on, he comes off the bench with 20 minutes to go, right? He's never going to let you down. And I think that's really, really under fucking rated. You know, there's loads of players that.
And that's the thing, like you said about James Milner. You mentioned James Milner earlier, yeah?
Yeah.
He is to us what you've got with James Milner.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, when he's on the pitch, it's 100%.
There isn't a football fan in the world that doesn't like effort. And the one thing I will always describe for Welbeck, for all of his failings, his biggest strength is the man will continue. He will try and try and try. And that's why you will never see me shit on him too much, because he's a tryer.
And that's the thing. When talent fails, hard work has to kick in.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. And like I said about Messi earlier, right? If Messi's not having the greatest game, trust me, that geezer's working harder than anyone in the team, right? And then when that is the greatest footballer I've ever seen in my fucking life, and he's running around like a bitch trying to get that ball back, that raises the whole fucking team, because they're looking at him going, right, this is the best player in the world, and look at the fucking work rate, right? So when you've got somebody like Milner, like Welbeck, like that are running around and they're trying their hardest and they're giving the shit. Why do you think James Milner's been at Liverpool so long? Because he's a grafter and he's a squad player. He will never be seen out in a fucking nightclub doing something he shouldn't be.
He'll never be in the mate, isn't he?
He's fucking, mate, listen, the geezer's a good player. He's a very good player, right? And he will always be a credit to your football club because you're never going to have any bad press with him.
No.
Right? And you know that if you put him in, whether it's left back, right back, centre back, goal, up front, fucking like orange fucking squash duty at half time, you know he's fucking putting a shift in. Yeah, my man will be coming, cutting up oranges and giving them around, like putting them in their mouths and shit, yeah? Right? And that's what you get with Welbeck. Listen, I don't really rate Welbeck as a footballer, but he is a perfect player for Unai Emery. And let's be real here, right? If, like I said, if you look at Unai Emery's Sevilla team, he would have walked straight into that because he has got everything that team had.
He fits the system. He fits the system really, really well.
Was that the last time that Emery faced Klopp? Was that final? Is that the last time they played each other?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Do you think that would play on Klopp's mind?
Maybe. I mean, potentially.
Because Sturridge scored one of the best goals I've ever seen in a fucking game.
And everyone forgot about it, you know. Yeah. But again, like as I said earlier, like the Arsenal team that faced City and the Arsenal team that's shown up this week are completely different monsters. And the Liverpool team that were in that final and the Liverpool team.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. Mate, how many goals did you concede that season in the league? Do you remember? Without Googling it.
Off the top of my head, I'm going to say about 40.
What season was that? 2000 and what?
Hang on a minute. I'll check Liverpool LFC history. So that's 2016,
15?
Yeah. You've got to remember as well, though, he wasn't there for the whole season. So
he joined in what, October, November? Was it October? End of October? Something like that, wasn't it?
End of October, yeah. No.
So he didn't have a transfer window?
No. He didn't even have pre-season with them, did they? Because they didn't sack. After Rodgers lost to Stoke 6-1, they didn't sack him because they couldn't get Klopp to agree. He wanted to have a rest before. And it just, like, we got there in the end, but for fuck's sake, it was just one of them things. I'm looking now. This is not making for a very good video, let's be honest with you. Somebody, I'll tell you what, we'll challenge somebody in the chat room to get this for us.
Yeah. How many goals did Liverpool concede that season they got to the Europa League final?
Yeah, it's the 2015 season, I believe. I'm thinking it's 45. I'm thinking it's about 45. But again, that's the thing that's what you're going to see with Unai, and what you're going to see with Arsenal is like it's a progression. You've started like that. You've gone whoosh, fantastic. At some point, that's going to happen.
Yeah. And that's where the fans, fans have got to sit there. If we lose at the weekend against you lot, right, I can see a meltdown coming.
Yeah, but they shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't, right? Whether it's, same old Arsenal. They were doing this for the last decade, beating the little teams and losing to the big team. Listen, if Arsenal lose at the weekend, even if it's 5-1 or 6-1 or 7-1 or 25-1, right? One thing's for sure, yeah? We are not going to lose that game by just rolling over. We will fucking give everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And our manager will give everything. Our manager will fucking Our managers sub fucking players at half time, for fuck's sake. We've not seen that for a decade or more. I'd love to see a stat on how many times the previous manager subbed a player in 22 years at half time. Because our manager's done it fucking 2, 3, 4 times this season already.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that tells me that firstly, he got his starting 11 wrong. But he's clever enough and proud enough to go, do you know what? I fucked up there. And I'm going to change it. And I'm going to give us 45 minutes to try and change it. Rather than going, let's just go again and trust the players for 70 minutes. And then give us 20 minutes and run around like dickheads, right? Yeah. And
shush!
And by subbing a player at half time, until the Palace game at the weekend, every single time he's made a substitution, that has instantly impacted that game. The substitutions he made against Palace at the weekend, I can see why he took Aubameyang off. I can see why he took Ozil off. I thought Ozil was shocking at the weekend. But the one thing I will say in hindsight is that when Ozil went off the pitch, we sat deeper and never kept the ball.
Yeah.
And we invited them back onto us. Whereas if he'd maybe kept him on, that could have then progressed us to 3-1, maybe even 4-1. I get why he took him off, though, because he was poor.
That's right. That's like you said, it's a sign of a good manager to be humble enough to admit that they've made a mistake. And again, I'll give you another example from last season. If you recall, Manchester United were flying through the first couple of weeks. They were playing some dog shit teams and beating them 4 or 5-0. And that's what they had bought Lukaku for, to go and beat Huddersfield.
The Belgian Heskey.
Yeah, you know, that's that kind of stuff. And then they played Liverpool and he parked the bus and they got a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, I remember that.
All the momentum that Man United had.
Dead. Gone. Yeah.
Gone. Because he compromised
what he was doing before that was getting results because he shit himself and was like, nah, fuck that.
Exactly right. And
right,
you can't it can happen and it does happen.
See, this is the thing, right? I look at us this season and I see us working harder. I see us more resilient. I see our players, even when we go a goal behind or they equalise or take the lead, whatever, right? I see our players going, yeah, come on, let's get on it. I see our players talking more. I've seen Granit Xhaka this season and Torreira mouthing it to Guendouzi, saying, you're too far fucking forward, mate. Come and sit back. I've seen Socrates fucking rinse Mustafi this season. I've seen fucking Lichtsteiner do it to fucking Iwobi. You know, and like, you don't always see that on TV, but when you're at the games, you see them fucking arguing sometimes. I've seen, like, our defence, when Chig's in goal, shit themselves when he gets the ball. Everyone's flapping. We're nearly scoring own goals. When Leno's in goal, everyone's chilled because they relaxed. They know he's got the ball. They know he's under control.
Communicating.
Exactly. And, like, I can see what our manager's trying to do. And where you are as a football club with Liverpool, I don't think you're going to win the league. I think Man City will walk it again by double-digit figures again. Easy, right? But I do think you'll finish second. But I think you'll finish second like Man United finished second.
Probably.
But I think you'll do it in a better playing style. You won't be boring as shit. You'll still finish quite a way behind Man City.
Yeah.
But it's now then, I think Chelsea has shocked me, to be fair, because I've mugged their fans off all summer. Literally all summer. Sarri ball, like, who the fuck's this guy, yeah? Right? Literally all summer I've mugged them off. But I do think they'll probably finish third, right?
Yeah.
And now it's a race between us, Tottenham and Man United for fourth. I think we'll get fourth. I genuinely think that.
Lee, something we know, you and I know, we've watched this game long enough, and Chig and almost everybody in the chat room know it's November. Let's see what Arsenal do in February. Because
we've not got the previous manager here anymore, bro.
If you can listen, if you can do something, you find yourselves in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Europa League thing, and you've got to play somebody good. No disrespect to who you're playing at the moment. You know, you find yourself up against, I don't know, could be Liverpool, could be PSG.
Yeah.
You know, could be fucking Spurs.
Could be that, like, I'd love to get them in the final. Can you imagine the flight to Baku in Azerbaijan? They'd have to have separate fucking airplanes for Arsenal fans and Tottenham fans. Could you imagine the carnage? Yeah,
I can't even begin to imagine.
Mate, trust me, they'd rig it so bad that it would never happen. They'd rig it.
No,
Yeah? Could you imagine fucking
God.
80,000 fucking Arsenal and Tottenham fans in Baku? Never happening, bruv. Never happening. But I don't know.
You weren't coming from that. Like, we're still. It's all I'm saying is like it's November. There's a long way to go.
Exactly.
We're just starting the grind.
And this is what I said earlier, right? If we lose, if any Arsenal fans are in meltdown that we've lost to City, Chelsea, Liverpool, sorry, this is like a 3-month progress. Yes, we've lost. Yes, we've lost. But I can't remember the last time we played that well at the Bridge. I can't remember the last time Man City's goalkeeper looked so shit. Oh, actually, I can. It was against you lot in the Champions League. Yeah, where he's passing straight to Salah to ping one in for 50 yards, right? If we lose to you, whether it be by 1, 2 or 3, 4 goals, whatever it may be, as long as we have left everything on that pitch and our manager has done everything and the fans in the ground are fucking left with a fucking fucked throat, which I know I will be, right? If we've done everything, I'll walk out of that ground and I'll go, do you know what? We've lost, but we fucking gave everything. They were a better team. Absolutely. And you're 2, 3, 4 years ahead of us in your ladder to the top. Do you know what I mean?
And like, listen, that's the thing again that I talk about. As I said, trophies are tangible, but if you can't see the progress that Arsenal are making, then like you've no business watching fucking football, really, have you?
Exactly.
So we'll see what happens this weekend. But as I said, I fancy it'll be a draw, right? But it's also be a really, really good thing if you got a draw grinding. If Arsenal have to go and grind, Arsenal have to go and fight, Arsenal have to go and do a lot of the things that they just were not doing under Wenger against the top sides, right? And that would be a good sign of progression. It'd be a massive backhanded compliment to Liverpool if you go out and play that way that we're talking about doing. But at the same time, nothing ventured, nothing fucking gained.
Well, if you look at last night, I know it's only Blackpool, and no disrespect to them, right? But it's only Blackpool, right? When we played Palace, we were just being stupid, right? And we're just like doing stupid moves, right? When we played, and obviously it resulted in them getting a fucking another penalty from a dive that the geezer should be banned for fucking 10 games. Hate him, cunt. Yeah, step over Merchant, fucking ball rolling Merchant. I don't get why anyone thinks he's good. He is bang average. We see that at Man United. He looks good at Palace because they're shit. Right? Now, at the end of the day, I look at it and I look last night, we're winning the game like we were against Palace. But the difference last night was, no, we ain't going to do stupid passes. We're not going to hoof it back like Lacazette did. We're not going to just let your man run past us instead of wiping him out and taking one for the team. We're actually going to keep the ball and pop it about near the corner flag. And that tells me my manager, Arsenal's manager, and the players have learnt from the mistake they fucking made against Palace at the weekend. Yeah. And to learn that mistake and implement it that quickly, 4 days later, tells me, do you know what? This manager is a fucking good manager. Yeah. And anybody who thinks otherwise can swivel. Seriously. Because this guy's been here, 5 months? Look at the fucking difference in this football club in 5 months. We're singing we've got our Arsenal back. Do you know what I mean? Last season, we all wanted to smash each other's faces in.
Like honestly, I can't put into words how amazing it is, and I hope it continues in many, many ways. Because from the broader strokes of the Premier League, we need a strong Arsenal. We need a strong Arsenal. We need a strong Man United. They're flaps at the moment.
No. Fuck Man United.
I know he coming from. Listen, you're gonna say fuck Spurs as well, but like.
No. Do you know what, Robbie? Yeah, I actually ain't scared of Spurs one little bit. Listen, right? They can banter all they like. They can give it all pretty patterns. They can have the greatest team they've ever had in fucking 50 fucking years, whatever. Ultimately, every single football fan on the planet knows they're going to choke, right? And they'll never win nothing. So what happened is they won't win fuck all this season. They won't get top 4 this season. They've strapped all their players up to big contracts to get big fees from to sell them. Harry Kane will be the only one that stays because he'll probably be loyal, even though he's an ex-Gooner and fucking gone there, right? But all the others are fuck off. And then they'll be lumped with £1 billion worth of stadium debt and fade back into the fucking shallows and probably liquidate in a decade. Yeah?
I mean,
so we ain't worried about Spurs.
No, listen, you're right. But doing, man. All I'm just as a wider contextual point is, like, one of the things that makes Liverpool strong or a good team is having a strong Everton. Right? And I know that sounds weird, and I understand where you're coming from, and I understand exactly what you're saying about Spurs, but competition breeds so much more in this league. And what's really, like, again, this is a broad strokes, wider context. One of the things that's really fucking worrying me is that some of the sides are going to start doing the sort of shit that Mick McCarthy used to do when they play Manchester City and say, you can beat us 5-0, we don't give a fuck, I'm putting the kids out, and just giving up. And you can, every once in a while, people like Warner could, you know, does
Pulis and play, I know Pulis has next to down now, but
the fucking roast owl eating club, as I like.
But you know what, right? As an Arsenal fan, and I'm 36 years old, right? So I've seen Arsenal back in the day under the 1-0 to the Arsenal, yeah. I've seen the Invincibles and the free-flowing football, and I've seen the banter era for the last decade, right? For me, in my whole lifetime, I don't class Tottenham as anything, nothing.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah? I see Chelsea as more of your Everton, if that makes sense. Yeah, I see Chelsea because for 15 years of me growing up, we had, even at 2-0 down, bang, Kanu hat-trick, right? We've always had the sign over them. Then Abramovich come along and the roles have reversed, right? Now, most of my friends are Chelsea. So for 15 years, I've had, fuck you, we're the best. Then it's flipped, right? So I see them as more of a rival than Tottenham. But don't get me wrong, I fucking hate them. And when we play them in any game, trust me, I want to fucking hurt them motherfuckers, man. I want our players to 2-foot them. I want them to fucking cause death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do see Chelsea as a bigger threat and a better club in terms of trophies, stature, etc. than I ever will Tottenham, because I've never seen them win the league. I've seen Chelsea win the Premier League 3 times. That's the same amount of times as Arsenal have won the Premier League.
Yeah.
And then, regardless of money, it's irrelevant. Leicester proved that. And God rest that guy's soul and his family, man. Fucking tragic what happened there. Right? But I'll never see Tottenham as a threat until they go and do what we've done as a football club in the Premier League era. Yeah, I'll never consider them on our level, because they're not. They're fucking miles away. Whether they're good or not now, and whether they're better footballing wise, a better team, a better unit, whatever. Yeah, until they actually fucking win something, they ain't even anywhere near our level. They're not near your level. They're not near fucking Man United's level, even though Man United are dog shit this season. They're not near Man City's level because they're fucking stratospheres away. They're not near anyone's level right now, because although they play pretty patterns, and although they've got Champions League for a few years, ultimately, when they come up against a big team, they've bottled 9 semi-finals or 8 semi-finals in a row at Wembley. Like, come on, man. We went up against the fucking reigning champions, Chelsea, who had gone record-breaking 30 wins at that point, right? Nobody gave us a prayer.
No.
We beat them. We fucking beat them. If that was Tottenham, they would have got done 5-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing. Hey, listen, Chig, are you still with us? Are you alive?
He's asleep, man. We bored the shit out of him.
Interrupting you guys. This is like the Robby and Lee show featuring Chig at the moment.
That's cool. My battery's about to die, Chig. So we've get a couple of questions, man, and we'll fuck it off.
All right. So to finish off the 1 to 11, Ozil and that was half an hour.
Joker.
There was one question from Marino's Bridge that was to Robby. So, Robby, I don't know if you want to answer that.
I think that, if I recall, the question was, who's better, Fabinho or Henderson?
Yeah.
Henderson.
Yeah, listen, different horses for different courses. Fabinho has been bought principally for this season, exclusively probably, to play in Europe. Liverpool got to the European Cup final last season, and with the exception of Milner and Alexander Oxlade-Chamberlain, almost none of them had any Champions League experience. What we need, even though we've got to the final, is we need more. Fabinho's played the best part of 100 games in Europe for Monaco. And Liverpool will play a different way in Europe this season than we did last season. Quarterfinals is fine, by the way. Henderson is a different animal. And he gets a lot of shit off Liverpool supporters because they still seem to think he's the 19-year-old kid that showed up at the club. And he's not. What he's done to try and change the way he's played, and the other example, obviously, is Gini Wijnaldum.
I rate him. I actually rate him. I think he's a good player.
Well, you should, because he is, like, fucking hell. The amount of bollocks that was chatted this summer about why they're playing Henderson for England rather than the fucking walking, talking abortion from Spurs, the fucking simple Jack cunt, whatever he's called. I don't even know his name. Dyer.
Oh, mate, that guy looks like he's about to open fire in American colleges, bro.
Forrest Gump without the ability to run. Anyway, what Henderson's done to try and change the way he's played is amazing, right? And it's took the best part of two seasons to do it. And that's another thing about players go like that, right? They don't all go, some go like that, but Henderson's gone a bit like that, up and down, up and down, up and down. What Henderson can do on the pitch, as I said before, with tempo and accuracy with his passing is amazing. And it's really, really underestimated because his accuracy levels, his accuracy numbers are absolutely amazing. What will be interesting is when Liverpool decide to play Fabinho and Henderson together. If they want to get the best out of Fabinho, they probably want to do what you guys have been doing with Guendouzi and Torreira, and playing the two of them together.
But then where does that leave Keita? Because I think Keita's better than all of them.
Well, we don't know. As I said, like, we don't know what's going to happen with Keita for the rest. Ask me again after Christmas, Lee.
And that was big money. You paid good money for that guy, man.
It's also Liverpool.
A year in advance.
Yeah. As I said, the story with Keita apparently is he's been struggling with the language barrier. He speaks French and very much pidgin English, and it's taking time. I was expecting for him to hit the ground running. He has shown flashes of what he's capable of doing.
Has he not got as Liverpool or the player or the agent not fucking hooked up an interpreter?
They have. They've done all sorts. Honestly, like, I can't tell you what Liverpool have done. They've been so classy in the way that they've looked after a lot of their players. It's just taking time on the pitch. You can't have the interpreter stood next to him while he's on the training pitch. You know what I mean?
No, of course.
Stuff like Liverpool have done stuff like they've built a prayer room at Melwood for the Muslim lads.
Oh, mate, we've got fucking hundreds of them at the Emirates.
Exactly. You know, listen, at least, but it's the thing about making them feel wanted and making them feel welcome. It's just going to take a little bit more time. It's the 1st of November. We've not. This is what, the 10th, 11th game of the season in the league.
Yeah, see, this is the thing with football fans. You're realistic, yeah, and I knew that anyway. You're realistic. You ain't gonna sit there and go, "Oh, we're gonna win the league. We're unbeaten. Fucking, we're the best thing in the world." Right? You ain't like that, right?
No.
A lot of Liverpool fans, I can't wait till we smack you at the weekend, right? Because trust me, the amount of Liverpool fans I have had fucking tweets.
Oh yeah, no, I've been watching.
Trust me, if we lose, I'm hiding.
Yeah.
Straight facts. I'm fucking hiding.
Off your phone for a week, mate.
Trust me, notifications off. You can all argue with each other, right? But if we beat you, trust me, right, all day long. And there's actually a guy. Let me find his Twitter quickly because he's actually a really nice guy, and he's actually going to the game at the weekend. His Twitter handle is @Jurgen Klopp LFC_. Really sound guy, yeah. This guy, I've never met him. I've never met him in my life before. I've spoke to him on Twitter a few times. He's going to come meet me after the game at the weekend. And he is realistic. Yeah, and I like that. Listen, I'll say some stuff to trigger people just for banter and that, but people go too far, right? Ultimately, we're all going to back our team and we're all going to think our team's this and that, right? It takes somebody special to sit there without bias, to sit there and go, do you know what? I respect this team. I respect that team. I've had people tweet me from Liverpool fans tweet me this week saying, we're going to fucking slap you 5-0. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Watch when I retweet that when we do you, right? Watch. Where you going now, bruv? Yeah? Where you going now?
I suppose that brings me back full circle, and that will allow me to finish the show. Because that, to me, is why I've titled the video the way I have. To me, Liverpool fans, at least in my timeline, tend to be the loudest. They tend to be the most face. And you think to yourself, why all this hype? Why?
You know what?
Why all this aggression?
Chris, honestly, right, loads of them, as I said, loads of them are bad dickheads, right? They are, no doubt. Every club's got them, no doubt.
Arsenal got thousands, mate.
Comes down, man.
Most of them want to smash my face in.
Same sort of thing as what we've been talking about all night, though, Lee. Like, we are enjoying what we're seeing.
Exactly, and that's all it's about. Listen,
going to the football.
That game I went to last night, because I know Chris wants to wrap this up, right? That game I went to last night, that was the first game I've been to in 6 games or whatever. For whatever reason, there's been a few complications along the way, right? The best thing about last night, it weren't that Arsenal won. It was the fact that I met up with people I haven't seen for 6 weeks, or not 6 weeks, but a month, right? And the fact that random people I've never seen in my life are coming up to me, talking to me about Arsenal. Yeah, because they're like, oh yeah, I respect what you say, or yeah, you're wrong on this, or you're wrong on that. And we're mate, that for me is just like, do you know what? That is better than fucking Arsenal winning against Blackpool last night. Yeah.
Well, just random people I've never met in my entire life. So I talked.
Oh yeah, when I gave you the ticket, innit? Yeah, I got that guy to drop it off to you outside, and that guy was walking past when you're on the phone. Go, yo, Gunner Eagle Eye.
Fucking hell. He's like, oh yeah, you're a real G, man. You're a real G. What do you think's gonna happen today? He's like, mate, I'm literally just off to meet, because I was literally on my way to meet you at the time.
Yeah. It's mad. It's mad. But do you know what, right? With that for me is like, do you know what? People actually out there listen to what we say, right? And I've had a Canadian Arsenal fan tweet me today. He's coming over for the game at the weekend against Liverpool. And I said to him, look, come meet me after the game. Right. And he said to me, and to me, this is not what I'm about. I don't pretend to be the voice of the fans for the fan base, nothing like that, right? I just say what I see, and if people agree with it, sweet. If they don't, sweet, whatever, right? But he said to me, he goes, I respect what you say. I like listening to you on AFTV. He goes, because like when you add your channel and you do the podcasts and you go on that channel, blah, blah, blah. We feel like we're closer to the club because we're fucking miles away in Canada, right? So I've now got a closer connection to the football club, and he's flying all the way over at the weekend to come and watch Arsenal-Liverpool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I couldn't agree with you more, Lee. Honestly, there's so many people around the world that get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch Arsenal or Liverpool or Spurs or...
they're real guys.
Chris, that's the crazy motherfucking shit you and I have done with wrestling for fucking donkey.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You know wrestling's not real, right?
Yes, I do. Fuck off.
People still watch the shit.
It's a soap opera.
Mate, I stopped watching that when I was 13.
Lee.
I knew I'd trigger you.
No, I'm not triggered. Honestly, I'm not triggered. All I'll say is this, mate. I'm 41 tomorrow, mate. I'm still
You're 41? Fuck off. No way.
Hey, kids in the chat room, ask for moisturiser for Christmas, all right?
Hey, Chris, who's your dart? Can somebody come and get your dart? That's all I get in my fucking notifications, fucking dickheads. Right, listen, we've got to give score predictions.
Yes, score predictions was
and Chris, do 2 questions, yeah, because I need to go. My battery's going to die soon. 2 questions, like 1 each for me and Robbie or whatever, yeah. But so do score predictions and just somebody ask 2 questions quick.
In the meantime, give your score prediction. Very, very briefly.
Go on, Robbie, you go first.
1-1.
Oh,
1-1.
Wow. I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming.
Lee?
2-1 Arsenal.
I think it'll be 3-2 Arsenal. I know,
honestly, no disrespect, boys. I just don't see how you score 3 goals against our lads.
Mate, listen. Under the previous manager, we scored 3 in 5 minutes, and we were fucking shit, bruv. Trust me.
I sense that we're going to do a little bit of a... Do you remember, Lee, when we played United about 2 seasons ago? and we had that 20 minutes of football, and it was like, where the fuck did this come from?
Yeah. Fucking backflips and all sorts, man. Blitz.
Yeah, I got a feeling we're going to do that and just turn it on, and then in typical Arsenal style, have a bit of a calamity in defence. And then Salah and Mane get a couple.
And we shit ourselves and hang on
and
and
we
nick
shit
it.
ourselves, yeah.
Do you know what the funny thing is, right? We haven't actually scored a goal in the first 30 minutes of a football match this season. How ironic would it be if we did that at the weekend?
Against Paul. That's what I think may happen. I think we may have a reversal where we have an amazing first half. And then Liverpool, fuck this. What the hell's going on?
And then we have fucking pitch invasion with 3 minutes of stoppage time left to go, which fucks the whole Liverpool team up.
I can't.
But trust me. If we're 3-2 up with 3 minutes to go and they're all over us, trust I'll run on the pitch. I'll take one for the team and get a life ban.
All jokes aside, and me and Robbie have never had. We always banter each other, but it's always respectful. But all the rest of you Liverpool motherfuckers that follow me on Twitter, if we win, I would advise to block me immediately because I'm coming for all of you. Every single last one of you. And you
Man's moving like a roadman out in there.
Know who you are.
You get me?
You know who you are. I'm coming for all of you. You're laughing because you know you're one of them.
Chris, if you're gonna fucking rape me, right, at least use Vaseline, yeah? I don't want to reach around, but if you're gonna fucking pound me hard, at least lube up, for fuck's sake. Nigerian dick. That's a hell of a fucking birthday present. Thank you very much, good friend.
Sorry, man.
When's your birthday?
Tomorrow.
Oh, was it tomorrow? Seriously?
Yeah, it's the day before the game.
Yeah.
Your weekend's fucked.
Oh, just to add to that, you know it's Emery's birthday on Saturday, right?
Yeah. No way.
Yeah.
And the last time he played him, he fucking beat him. So fucking mate, it's all on.
All the omens.
Listen, it's written in the stars. Right, listen, 2 questions. Let's go, man. Let's do it.
All right, 2 questions.
Why is Lee Gunner a nonce? Why is Robby Yadar? Why is Lee wearing a bobble hat indoors? Fucking pay your heat.
Yeah, I have had that question.
Yeah, I've had. Do you know why? I'm heating. Fuck this, man. Watch. My fucking heat.
I've had a few people say, "Tell Lee to take that hat off."
Yeah, Sam. Big up Sam, by the way. Sam texts me. Watch. I'm not even fucking blagging you, yeah? My heating, I am freezing, bruv, right? I am not even joking, right? I am not even kidding. What does that say? Can you see it?
Down a bit. Down a bit. Down a bit more.
Hang on.
Down a bit more. Down a bit more. Down a bit more.
Can you see it?
35.
35 degrees and it's fucking freezing in this apartment.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Grease gas, bud.
It's 20 degrees in this apartment. I'm all right.
Mate, do you know what? In the summer, I'm not even kidding, right? I'm top floor, yeah? In the summer, this apartment was nearly 40 fucking degrees, man. I am sweating. No wonder I'm so skinny, bruv. I must have lost about 3 stone in the summer. Right? Come winter time, fuck me. I swear to God, the heat, nah, man, it's gone. It's done. And then, like, because I'm 10 stone dripping wet, I feel the cold. This is why you dig. This is why I don't have showers. I have a bath, yeah, because it warms my bones up, bruv.
A quick question.
Let's go, because I need to go, man. My battery's dead.
Yeah, Michael Harrington says, for Lee, what is a good season under Emery, and where do you think you could surprise people? And I'm going to remix this question for Robbie because I think this is an interesting question for Robbie. Right. What is a good season for Liverpool?
Go on, go first, Robbie. Go first.
What is a good season?
When we did a show at the start of the year, I sort of said, I was on with Lee that time, and realistically, this Liverpool team is too good to not win something. We could potentially go into the last month of the season within touching distance of City, or City will be just gone. And
they're going to be gone.
One or the other, and I can't quite tell at the moment. Quarterfinals of the European Cup, I'm happy with that. Okay. Re-qualification, I'm happy with that. If we won the FA Cup, I'd be over the fucking moon.
Okay. Realistic expectations. Lee?
Well, I said at the start of the season, 5th and 2 away wins in the calendar year. Man's knocking one out, bruv. We've already got 3 away wins. Have we got 3 away wins? No, we got back-to-back away wins and a draw, didn't we, against Palace? Who have we done away this season? Newcastle. Who else?
Was it Brighton?
Newcastle, Fulham.
Fulham, that's it. Newcastle and Fulham. And we drew with Palace away. So we've already got back-to-back away wins, which is more than we've done in the last fucking 5 months of last season. So he's already surpassed the previous manager. If we finish 5th, trust, man's knocking one out.
I'm going to end with one more just because...
But I do think we will get top 4.
I'm going to end with one more just because I think this is a nice question from Ryan, who's the Mr. Arsenal podcast. Go subscribe to his podcast.
Is that Ryan Fletcher?
Yes, it is.
Big
Mr. Fletcher.
Yeah,
I know my shit.
He asked, to all of us actually, he asked, what is your favourite Arsenal versus Liverpool moment? For me, it's pretty easy. It's my very first memory of football, and that's 1989.
I'm going for the cup final.
Michael Owen final.
Where Arsenal absolutely...
I was at that game.
And Michael Owen decided...
That's my worst moment,
by
the way.
Yeah, 2001.
That's my worst moment.
Vieira gave Steven Gerrard such a lesson in that game, and it was the making of Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
That's
Stevie
probably my favourite in modern...
Did you hear what Stevie G said the other day about fucking, like, when they put that question to the player, and he went, no, I'll answer that.
I'll answer that, yeah.
And he went, I'll take it as a warning. If big players and mate, what an interview.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
Fucking around, lads, honestly.
The best bit about that is at the end of what he said, he smirked and nodded his head at the journalist. Like, yeah, now go fuck yourself. Well, I'm going to disagree with you, Chig, yeah? I'm definitely disagreeing with Robbie. Because I was at that final. I was at that final in Cardiff. I was at that Millennium Stadium, right? And I fucking swear, we fucking should have pissed that game. Right?
No question.
And fucking, we should have just wiped that little fucker out, man. But there you go. Shit happens.
Whenever they show that, honestly, Lee, whenever they show that goal that Ryan Giggs scored in the...
Oh, mate, how many times should we have wiped him out?
I'm still fucking screaming at Winterburn to fucking kick the cunt.
Mate, Winterburn, Adams, they should have all wiped him out, man.
Kick the fucker!
And he gets his hairy chest out. Man's skinnier than me.
What's your favourite memory then?
Do you know what, right? I was only a boy when we played at Anfield, yeah, and I remember it. My mum and dad let me stay up that night, yeah. Right, and it's funny because there's a picture, and DT was telling me that I've heard this from his old man before, anyway, yeah. Right, but we were talking to one of the Arsenal staff last night, right? I'm not going to say who she is, but she's fucking connected, right? But we were chatting last night, and there's a picture of John Lukage and 2 kids on the pitch that are Arsenal fans. DT is one of them kids at Anfield in '89. Okay. Yeah, and it's mad, right? But I was only 7. No, I wasn't even 7. I was 6. So, like, my dad let me stay up and let me watch it, but I don't really remember it. Do you know what I mean? Like, looking back at it now, it's just like, yeah, cool. My favourite memory from an Arsenal-Liverpool game is our Shavin, the ugly motherfucker.
Oh, I remember that
game. Running around with 4 fingers up. Yeah. And one of them goals he scored in that game, oh my fucking God. What a banger. Yeah. And he took it so early. I think it was Reina in goal. Was it Pepe Reina? Yeah, Pepe Reina was just like, whoa, what's happened? Yeah, and that's my favourite memory. The fact I know we drew. It was 4-4, wasn't it? Yeah. But we fucking gifted you that game. Fucking we should have fucking won that game. Yeah, but
is that the quarterfinal of the Champions League, or is it the game that was in the Carabao Cup?
You know how I know it was in the league? It was on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's a league game.
And in my view, it was Theo's best game for Arsenal because
he won the whole length of the pitch in that game.
He was amazing on that game.
He won the whole length of that pitch. literally like a prime fucking Messi.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God. Right. But for me, that Arshavin 4-4. But do you know what? I could also put in there the Baptista. Baptista fucking banged 4, didn't he? Right.
Yeah.
But for me,
really Arsenal, but
yeah, he was dog shit, wasn't he? But like, he was brilliant. As soon as he left, he was brilliant. And before, he was brilliant. And for Brazil, he was brilliant. But for me, the Arshavin 4-4, one of them goals, mate, I'll never forget that goal to the day I fucking die. I think it was the second goal. I'm not sure. But he just fucking smacked it. Yeah, there was no backlift on the ball. Yeah, and it just fucking flew in, man. And I was just like, oh my fucking God. But the memory of him running around with his ugly little mug with 4 fingers up, it was just like, wow. Yeah, I'll never forget that. And like I said, like I was born and I was alive and I was 6 years old when we played at Anfield. And I remember my mum and dad letting me stay up because it was on TV at the time. It was a Friday night.
Friday night game, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really remember it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I remember they let me stay up, but I don't really remember it. But yeah, for me, Arshavin, man.
Let's sign out there. Robbie, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you'll find me on the Twitter mainly at Robby Richmond. It's Robbie with a Y. You can now download our occasional podcast called The Needle.
Yes.
Me and my friend Chris just chat absolute shit. Sometimes about films, but mainly about the sexual diseases that I've got currently.
Check it out to find out.
Mate, I've got stuff fucking growing in there under my fucking foreskin.
Fucking hell.
I reckon this video might get more dislikes than likes.
I think so. But the link in the description below for his Twitter. And I forgot completely about his podcast, so I'll put that link afterwards. And just so
I better send you the link so you can put the link in, yeah?
Yeah, of course. Do that. And Mr. Gunner, it's not like the people don't know where they can't find you, but remind them, man.
Well, if they don't, what the fuck they're doing? Do you know what? No, I'm not even joking. Like every week, I get people DM me on Instagram. I found you through Gunner Eagle Eye. It's like, where the fuck you been, bro?
Good.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
But no, Lee Gunner 82 on Insta and Twitter. DM me on Insta. Tell me you found me from this show. I will follow you back on Instagram. Twitter. Nah, man.
I still put his Twitter on my description.
Yeah, stick it in there.
I put both on there, so it's in the description right now, as is Robbie.
But I'll be honest with you, like Twitter is just full of fucking dickheads. It is just full of dickheads.
Dickheads on there, mate.
Like I've said it before. I could tweet Ozil's the best in the world. I get hate. I tweet his shit. I get hate. Yeah,
you do. You do get hate no matter what you do.
It's the brand that you've built, Lee.
But do you know what's funny, right? Last night on my FTV interview, I spoke about Mkhitaryan being shocking, yeah? Like, for literally 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? That was the title.
It was the title of the video, yeah.
That was the title, right? And people just see the title and start hating. I actually spoke about Ramsey for about 5 minutes. Yeah. I swear, when I see Loomis next, trust me, my man's getting baited up about the title.
Yeah, but both of shit. Both of them are terrible.
No, they were. Mickey's been poor, man. I actually see a tweet today from Giles. I don't know if you know Giles.
I don't know Giles.
Yeah, nice guy, man. Really nice guy. I've actually met him a few times. Really sound guy. And he put a tweet up saying that somebody said to him that Arsenal and Man United have both lost out in the swap deal. And it's like, when he tweeted that, I looked at him, I was busy.
What I said from the get-go.
Listen, Stell's told us from day one, Mickey's shit. He's told us that.
Yes.
Yeah, he was not wrong.
And I'll be honest.
He's been shit wherever he's gone.
I'll be honest.
Good player that's wildly inconsistent.
Since he's left Dortmund, he ain't the same player, man.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
His final ball's poor, like really poor. And against Blackpool last night, yeah, his work rate's great. But listen, if you're playing in that position, you've got to score goals and set goals up, and he ain't doing either. So yeah, but that's another podcast, man.
All right, people. So that's it from us. Absolutely crush that like button.
Crush that motherfucking like button.
Kick the shit out of that like button. I appreciate it.
Hey, Chris, before we go, wait, stop.
Uh-oh.
Osem Bandele Osama Bendele. I can never say his name. Dembele.
Usman Dembele.
Him.
He's probably signing for Paul. I don't want to hear
You and I have got a long-standing discussion / argument. Is he going to end up at Arsenal with all of his bros?
I fucking hope not.
It looks like something's happening this Christmas, boys.
Yeah, I'll drive him to Liverpool.
You don't like him, do you?
Nah,
Lee got like any lightweight winners, and he's a lightweight winner.
Well, listen, I've got him in my ultimate team. Yeah, I'll sub him off in the first minute for Inform Martial, and I play Inform Martial left wing card on the right wing.
Listen, this is going to be one of them players that Lee works over. Trust me. I guarantee it. Trust me on that one. So anyway, people, we're out of here. Hit that subscribe button if it's the first time you're listening to us. What are you doing?
Chris, what's your Instagram?
And my Instagram is Gunner. I was coming to that. Gunner 1. That's Gunner_Eagle_I1. Because I know Lee will make me say it properly. All right? There you go. So that's pretty much it from us. I'm out of here. Take care, boys.
Cheers. Thanks for having me on. Nice to see you guys.
Unai Emery fucking in. Unai Emery's ready to army. We hate Tottenham.